Okay, we are now going to move on to that upper right section that we haven't done of your foldable, okay? This one right here. We're going to work on this section, which is measuring volume. And this section right here, I use all the time, like when I'm cooking or when I'm trying to figure out how many cups are in it when I'm buying something that I need, some ingredient that I need. So, I'm going to read you a little story that helps me. And I think of it all the time. When I'm cooking, I'm like, oh wait, now how many ounces in a cup or how many cups in a pint? And this will probably help you. I've actually seen my daughters, when they're struggling to know how much of something to put in something, do this same thing in their head. So this foldable right here is where we're at. There's a story on the inside about the Gallon Kingdom, okay? There's a story about the Gallon Kingdom. So let me make this a whiteboard quick so I can show you where we're gonna go with this. Okay. Okay, so first of all, in our story, listen closely. It says, you can follow along or you don't need to. It says, far, far away in a land called Capacity Kingdom. They call it Capacity Kingdom. Well, that's fine. I call it the Gallon Kingdom, but they call it Capacity Kingdom. There lived a king, and the king was huge. In fact, he was a giant. Okay? He was a giant, and we call him King G. And King G had 4 queens. I know. That's not normal, but if it's our story.
It has to be normal.
Okay, 4 queens. And each of these, wait, let me read it from the story. Let me not get ahead of myself. Each queen had 1 prince and 1 princess. So this queen had a prince and a princess. This one had a prince and a princess. This one had a prince and a princess. And likewise with this one. And each prince and princess had 2 crowns. The one they wore to special occasions like a ball, and the other one they wore to everyday things like going to the mall. So this one had 2 crowns, and this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and this one, and this one. And each of these crowns, they had 2 crowns, right? One for every day and one for special occasions. And each of those crowns have, now I'm not going to be able to draw this on here, but you'll have to imagine, each of those crowns have 8 opals on them. 8 opals.
What's an opal?
An opal is a jewel. Okay, does that make sense? Now, why does that story help me? Well, I'll tell you. Why it helps you is because, right, there's not 8 on there, but don't count them. Okay, why that story helps you is because King G is actually King Gallon. All right, here we go. So we've got 1 gallon. All right, let's scooch this over. I'm going to need some space. We've got, let's see if I'm smart enough to figure this out. Yes, there we go. All right, here's our gallon. Yes? We've got 1 gallon. How many quarts do you think are in a gallon? Or how many queens did he have? Yes, Charlotte. Yep. So within here, we are going to have 4 quarts. How did she do that?
It's Miss Kathleen.
It's Miss Cackley. Hold on, guys.
Don't send me down. Then you can come down. What would you now?
I got it. I'll send it down. Got it. Could you, Zari, could you come give this to Mrs. Engelhardt? She's going to sign it, and then can you run it down? Someone, that's fine. Mia, you can go with her. Try to go quickly, guys, because, well, you'll have to catch this up from somebody. Okay. All right. Great. So we've got our gallon. In a gallon, you can fit 4 cups, right? I'm sorry, not 4 cups, 4 quarts, right? These are quarts. That's why they're big Q's for the queen. All right? 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, 1 king, 4 queens. We're moving on to each queen has what? 2 prince or princesses. So, how many pints are we going to have in a gallon? This gallon would be how many pints? Look at this. How many pints are in a quart? 2 pints for every quart, but how many pints are in the whole gallon? 8 of them, all right? So 1 gallon equals 8 pints. But why this chart is kind of helpful, guys, is because you can make lots of conversions with this chart. So let me put my 8 pints in a gallon. So if I said to you, for instance, Ben, I want you to sit on all 4 chairs, right? All 4 legs of that chair. How many cups are in a pint? How many cups are in a pint, looking at this? 2 cups in a pint. How many cups are in a quart?
16.
4 cups are in a quart. How many cups are in a gallon? How many pints are in a gallon?
2. 8.
Pints in a gallon? 2, 4, 6, 8. How many? Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to go a little bit more. So, you guys are doing good. So, how many cups are in a whole gallon? How many cups?
8. She said it'll take her a while to do it, so she's right back. 16. You got a lot.
16?
2. Yeah, 2. 16. Oh,
In a gallon.
15 plus 16 is
Count them up, people. What do you think? How many cups are in a gallon?
Oh, 4.
These are cups.
Oh.
How many cups are in a gallon?
8. 64. 16. Wait, what? 64. Oh, all of them together? What? 16?
Well, let's do this. How many cups are in a pint?
How many cups are
How many cups are in a pint?
4. 8. 2. 6. 4. 16. 40.
Okay, here. Let me show you guys. How many C's are in this P? 2. There are 2 crowns for each prince or princess. There are 2 cups for every pint. How many cups are there in a quart? 4. How many cups are there in a gallon? 16. We've got 16 cups that fit into a gallon. All right? How many ounces are in a cup? No, how many opals are on each crown?
40.
Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand. How many ounces are in a cup? Yes. 40. So how many opals are on a crown, did we say? How many? 8 opals are on a crown, so how many ounces are in a cup right here?
16.
No?
8 ounces are in a cup.
8 ounces in a cup, right? How many ounces would be in a pint then?
16.
16, right? 8 and 8 is 16. How many ounces would be in, ounces in a cup, we said 8. Ounces in a pint, 16. Ounces in a quart, 32. Yes. Now, how many are going to be in the whole gallon? How many ounces?
64.
Right? 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times 8.
Is it 128? Can I do the math? Wait, what is it? 16 times 8? Going back to math.
16.
124. Yep. 128.
What's 8 times 6?
42. I mean, 48. 48. It's 128. I said that.
128 ounces in a gallon. If you buy, next time when you go home, look at your gallon of milk and see how many ounces are in it. It should say 128.
What if it doesn't?
Okay, take that down. Okay, thank you, girlies. All right. So this gives you a good idea. This is, let's go fill this in now. We can go back to your foldable. Let me take all this down, at least what we can get to our stuff. All right, look right here. How many ounces are in 1 cup? 8, right? There's 8 opals on each of those crowns, so there's 8 ounces in 1 cup. How many cups are in a pint? In one of those pints, how many cups are there?
6. No, 2. 2.
Right? How many? Remember, what do the P stand for?
Pint.
P standing for prince or princess, and the C standing for a crown. How many crowns does each prince or princess have?
No, 2.
2 cups. 2 crowns per princess. Now, for each court or each queen, how many pints or how many princes or princesses? Yep, a prince and a princess. How many gallons? How many queens were there for each king? Okay, 1 king, 4 queens, right? For each queen, she had 2 P's, a prince and a princess. For each prince or princess, they had 2 crowns. For each crown, they had 8 opals in it. That story actually really helps me because those numbers get muddled in my head. And so sometimes I'll be thinking, how many cups are in a quart? I'll think, okay, cups, there's 2 cups for each prince or princess, and there's 2 prince or princesses for the prince. So I can just do it really quick in my brain that way. Helps me. How many pints in a quart? 2. How many quarts in a gallon? 4. Yeah. So that might help you. It might help you just to memorize them. Whichever way works better, you can do it. But some, it might help to picture it with a picture. Some might just want to memorize the facts. And some might want to memorize that story because you kind of never really forget the story about the king with the 4 queens, with the prince and the princess, and each of them have 2 crowns, and then they have 8 opals. All right. That is this information right here. All of the English standard units of measurement will be on your quiz. That's what you're going to want to study. All right? You can work on coloring that foldable until actually, we need to switch, don't we? Okay, you can go ahead and pack your stuff up, and we'll switch.